Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. I was thinking in today's video I could talk a little bit about colors. While doing that, I thought I could show you my process of painting these cute little bookmarks, and it will be slightly sped up, but I think you will be able to follow. And I have been asked a lot of times, what is the alternative to the colors I'm using, and what colors, if you don't have one color, what other color you can use. And I have to say, it's very hard for me to say what color to use if you don't have the same one as I have. Especially if you don't have the same brand as I have, because there are just so many brands out there, and some of them have different names for their colors, and some of them don't even have the names of the colors. They just have numbers or don't have even numbers. So especially if you're using student grade watercolors or maybe school watercolors, there are just no names, no numbers, and it's very, very hard for me to say what other color, what alternative to use if you do not use the colors I use. If you have seen my videos, you've probably noticed that most of the time I'm using White Nights. I also use Sennelier and Schmincke watercolors. Those are actually the watercolors I use most often. Sometimes also Winsor & Newton Cotman watercolors. I have a couple of tubes of those, and I do put every time in description all the colors I'm using. But as I said, it's very hard for me to say what alternative colors you can use in other brands when sometimes there's just no name, no number. So I've decided to do a video and help you out choosing your colors, and especially if you're a beginner, I can really understand the scare you have of the colors and that you want the colors to be exactly the same as mine, and that is fine, that it's absolutely normal. And it happened to me also, but I was just looking at other people's tutorials, videos, paintings, and I always wanted to know, what brush did you use, what colors did you use, what paper did you use. I wanted to use the exact same colors, exact same brushes, paper, and of course that is not possible, because how many supplies would you have if you would use all the time the same colors, brands, and papers and all that. It's absolutely normal, and you should use what you have and not really be bothered with what I'm using or anyone else is using. So as I said, I wanted to help you out in picking your colors and using your color palette that you have and making the most of your colors and your color palettes. So I will start off by saying the first thing you should do is swatch your colors. It doesn't matter what brand, what watercolors you have. Are they artist grade? Are they student grade? Are they maybe school watercolors? It really, really doesn't matter. You have to make a swatch, because a lot of the times the colors that are in a palette aren't really the same in a palette and on paper. They're very, very different, and you have to see your colors on paper to know what are they like. I always do that. I always swatch my colors. Every new brand, every new watercolors I get, I swatch them because I wanted to see how they look. So that is the first thing you should do. You should swatch your colors. Just take any watercolor paper you have, your brush, and spray your paints. I don't know if there are tube paints, just put them on your palette. If there are pen paints, just spray them a little bit with water to make them easier for picking up from your palette, and make a swatch. And if those colors have names, if you have names or numbers, you should write those names and numbers next to your color. And if they don't have names or numbers, just give them the number they are in your palette. And if you have tubes with no names, just make a sticker, a small sticker, write a number, stick it on your tube, and that should be the same number as the one on your swatch card. So that is the first thing you should do. Just swatch your colors. Next thing you should do is, mix your colors. Try to mix your yellows together. Try to mix your blues, your reds, your browns, whatever colors you have, and try to make mixes in between them, you know, between yellow and red, between blue and red, and just see what colors you will get. And I assure you, if you have a color palette of 12 colors, you will get so many different colors, so many different shades, so many different variations of a color, and you will be amazed how much colors you can achieve by using just one palette with the 12 colors. If you have even more, you should do even more. That should be one project for you. Instead of one painting, you just make your swatch and then try to mix the colors. And of course, every time you mix your colors and you put them on a paper, just write what colors did you mix, or the names of the colors, or of course the numbers of colors. I don't know how are you gonna make distinction between your colors. So the one it should be the way that is the easiest for you. So that is the second thing you should do. Just swatch your colors, mix your colors, and make swatches of your mixed colors. Because sometimes maybe you'll have just one red, and that doesn't mean that you really can get just one red out of your palette. You can get probably a lot of reds. Just add a little bit of yellow, just add a little bit of blue, not a lot, just a little bit, because you know there are, as you've probably heard a lot of times, there are cool and there are warm colors. And you just always start with one basic red and just make it a little bit cooler by adding the blue, and maybe make it a little bit warmer by adding yellow or adding orange. So just try to make your mixes and see what colors you will get. That is the second thing. That is how you will get to know your color palette, and that will definitely make it easier on you later on when you paint. I know it sounds pretty daunting and it sounds boring to do that, but believe me, it will be very fun. I also didn't swatch my colors. It was just, oh, that's annoying. I don't want to do that. That's boring. I just want to paint. But you know, when you start doing it and when you try doing it, you just see how actually fun that is. And you're just amazed what sort of colors you can get. So don't think that's a boring and daunting thing to do. It's actually very fun, and you will be so pleased and so happy when you see how many colors you can get, and in what way your colors mix, what you can get with one yellow and one red and other yellow and other red. It will amaze you, and you will learn, believe me, you will learn a lot about colors. So that is the second thing. The third thing you should do is just check out my description, and there you can find links for the watercolors I'm using, for the swatches of watercolors I'm using. So as I said, those are White Nights, Sennelier color, Schminke, and Winsor & Newton Cotman watercolors. Those are basically the colors I'm using. Sometimes I use some other colors, but most of the times those are the colors I'm using. And I will put the links down in the description box for the swatches of those colors that you can download on your computer, cell phone, or maybe tablet, whatever you use, whatever you prefer, and have that swatches just downloaded and waiting for you. Next thing you should do when you download that, you should actually put your swatch that you made from your colors on your tablet, monitor, or cell phone, whatever, and just try to find the most similar color that you have on your palette. And when you find that most similar color, if you're not really happy how similar, how same it is to the color I'm using, just try to add a little bit more of one or the other color that you mixed in. You know, you can also mix more than 2 colors. You can mix 3, 4, 5 colors, but I'm sure that would be a pretty harder, especially if you're beginning, but it doesn't matter. You can do it or not. Just don't be stressed about it. Try to have fun doing this. So, as I said, you compare those colors, compare the colors I'm using, and compare the colors that you have on your palette. And if I was using a mix of two colors and you don't of course have the swatch of that color, well, just pause my video and place your palette on my video and try to find a similar color to the one I'm using. And if there isn't any that is absolutely similar, that is fine. You don't have to use exactly the same colors as I do. Don't be stressed about it. Just find one that is closest. It doesn't matter. It may be miles away. It doesn't matter. And with time, trust me, you will get to know colors. You will know how to mix them, how to get any color, which colors to use to get this, which colors to use to get that. And that is actually my advice to you. And once you do your swatch, you will have it. You don't have to do it ever again, just once. And it will make your life a lot easier, and maybe you won't waste a lot of paint because you will know how to get a certain color, what color you used to get this color, and you'll see your swatch said, yeah, that's those two I used for this. Maybe I should add a little bit more of that blue to make it a little bit cooler, or to make it a little bit darker, a little bit lighter. So I think you will learn a lot by swatching your colors. And as I said, that is I think there's 4 steps, right? Swatch your colors, make swatch of your mixes of your colors, download the swatches of the colors I'm using and compare them to your palettes. That is not something that you should do only with my videos. You can also do that with other tutorials, other artists' videos, paintings. Whenever you see a painting, whether it's on your computer again or cell phone or wherever, you will have your color palette and just compare the colors, and you will always have the way to get the color palette that person was using, and to get the idea what colors you should use to make it similar as other one artist's painting. And it will definitely help you to move from your fear from picking the wrong color. I hope you liked this. That was helpful. And if you did, please help me out and give this video a like, share it, comment, and if you haven't still, subscribe to my channel. And I hope I'll see you next time. Bye!